everybody, welcome back to my videos. As you can see, I've got a few friends in the background with me today, and I also have something on my head, and that is because I am doing a Halloween special video for you today. Can I just point out, I've had these spiders up for like 3 days, and I thought it was going to be a really bad idea and one of the spiders was going to fall on my bed and I was going to freak out. However, that didn't happen, so we were all good on that front. And also I went into town to try and find some cat ears, but I couldn't find any, so I had to make my own. That is why they look crap, if you were wondering. However, today I am baking a checkerboard cake, but I'm sort of putting a Halloween twist on it, and I've never done one of these cakes before, so if it goes really wrong, then you know why. But essentially I'm just going to do a green, an orange and a black sponge, shove them together and pray that it looks like a checkerboard on the inside. I'm also going to keep it quite simple on the outside, simply because it's really colourful on the inside. So let's hope it goes well. Okay, so here I am in my kitchen. I'm going to show you the ingredients that you will need. So you're going to need 3 eggs, 6 ounces of white castor sugar, 6 ounces of self-raising flour, 6 ounces of margarine, and then I've just got these, they're quite small tins, I think they're about 6 inches or 6.5 inches, something like that. And I'm also going to use these cookie cutters because you need to like split it into circles, so I'm hoping that this is going to do an alright job. I've also got some paper circles just to slot into my tins, and then for the icing I've got some British salted butter, some icing sugar, and then I've just got some decorations. So these are like edible little spiders that I brought. These were actually some free samples that I got from Charlie's Crazy Cupcake Creations, so thanks for them, Charlie, I might use them. And I also bought 25 grams of these hundreds and thousands, which are the same colours that I'm going to do the sponges. Oh, and I've also got some like gothic-y kind of black ribbon, which I'm hopefully going to put around the edge of the cake. And last but not least, I've got my black, orange and leaf green Wilton food colourings, which I'm going to be using to colour my sponges. Can we just talk about how big my mum's dishcloth is? It's literally like a duvet. So thick as well. Don't know where she's had that from. Anyway, first things first, wiping the surfaces. Okay, so because I've only got 2 of this size tin, I'm first going to make enough mixture to fill 2 of these tins, and then I'm going to make enough mixture to fill one of these tins when this cake has come out of the oven. The reason I want to do quite a small whipped cake and 3 layers is because I think the squares might be better, so that is what I'm attempting to do. So to fill the first 2 tins, I'm first of all going to measure out 4 ounces of margarine and 4 ounces of castor sugar, mix them together till creamed. As you can see, it is now nice and creamed together, and then I'm just now going to measure out 4 ounces of self-raising flour and put 2 eggs in and mix it all together. This is probably also a good time to start preheating your oven to 180 degrees. My mixture is all mixed together, I am going to transfer it to these 2 bowls and add 2 different colours. So for this first one I'm going to add some orange food colouring, and then for this other one I'm going to add some green food colouring. So before I put my colours into these tins and put them in the oven, I'm just going to get some lard and sort of go all the way in the tin so that the cake doesn't stick, and also place one of these paper circles in. I'm now going to put these in the oven for 20 to 22 minutes, and hopefully they turn out okay. I'm also going to repeat all of those steps and now do a black cake, and I've never made a black cake before, so fingers crossed it turns out okay. And I will get back to you when all of the sponges are cool and it's time to cut them into little circles. And this is why I don't make black cakes. I've literally added so much black food colouring and all it's doing is going like darker and darker grey. So it might not have to be a black cake, but grey's still pretty Halloweeny, so we're just gonna have to go with that. So I've just got my first 2 sponges out of the oven, but how creepy does this look? I've just peeled back like the paper circles that I had on there, and it legit looks like a pumpkin freaky face. That is so weird. So even though I said that it was like dark grey the mixture, it actually turned out pretty black, the cake, when it came out of the oven. So that's good. But now is the tricky part where I need to push these cookie cutters down into the cake and try and get them even and circular, and I hope it goes alright. So as you can see there, it worked pretty well actually using these cookie cutters, and now I'm just going to repeat the steps with the black one and the green one. So now that all of my circles are being cut out, I am going to stack them, but differently. So I'm going to start with the green one and put the black bit in the middle, like that, and then I'm going to have an orange middle for that one. And then I'm just going to repeat these steps, but with all the other bits and pieces. So there we go, all of the circles are in the circles, and I'm just going to make my buttercream now. So to make the buttercream, what I'm going to use is 250 grams of British salted butter and 500 grams of icing sugar. I also forgot to mention that I'm going to be using jam. I'm going to be using strawberry jam with no bits, just because I want it like a Victoria sponge type cake. So yeah, I'm going to be using jam. There we go, I have chopped my butter up, and this butter has been out a couple of hours, so it's kind of soft now, and that makes it better to mix together with the icing sugar, so I'd recommend leaving the butter out for a while if you want to make this buttercream. Now this is the extremely long part where you basically just have to mash your fork into all of the butter until it looks like buttercream, which does take a while, but you get there eventually. You can also use like a whisk type thing, and that kind of does it faster, but the butter's still a bit hard, so I might just have to use a fork today. 10 hours later, and it's looking somewhat better, but it's still like proper hard and really stiff to move, so I'm going to add some milk, and it just like loosens the mixture up and it's easier to stir and things. Buttercream done, it's now time to put it into the cake with the jam. So as you can see, I've covered the whole cake rather messily, and this is the part that I always struggle with because I really don't know how to decorate cakes very well, like with buttercream on the outside. So I watched a tutorial, and apparently if you just coat it with like a thin layer and then you put it in the freezer for 15 minutes, it like freezes this layer and it makes it a lot easier to add the second layer. So that is what I'm going to try and attempt. So I've taken it out of the freezer now, and I've just added another layer, and it looks so much better than it normally would. So I definitely recommend putting it in the freezer 15 minutes if you're struggling to put the buttercream icing on like this. I'm now just going to add the sprinkles and some spiders and maybe some cake crumbs that I salvaged earlier. So here is the finished cake. I just added some spiders, some of the multicoloured sprinkles and the pumpkin on top, and then I put some spiders around the side as well, and I've also put that black ribbon round which just fit perfectly. So So I look quite ominous coming into shot with this giant knife. However, it is now time to see if it actually worked and cut the cake. Oh, it worked! Cool! Creepy it is in here now that it's gone dark. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I had a really fun time making the cake actually. Surprised it went as well as it did. And please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be back next week with a new video. Bye! Oh, and just before I go, I made a Halloween baking video last year and it's on my other channel, but I watched it back recently and I found it so funny and so like badly edited and filmed and everything. So if you're interested in seeing that video, then I will leave it linked below and you can go on and watch how terrible I was at YouTube.